Temptations attack us from porn, need for validation, distractions, entertainment, drugs, alcohol, overworking, or over-learning. In this video, I'm going to teach you what temptation actually is, why they affect you, help you to understand if you're actually succumbing to temptations and you aren't aware of it, and best of all, teach you to never give in to temptations again. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to learn how to be the best version of yourself. My name is Corey Boutwell. I run a group coaching program called Overcome the Chaos for men who want to be the best version of themselves, the best leaders to work in their health, wealth, relationships, and supercharge their full potential. So why is temptation even a part of our lives? So the purpose of temptation, as mentioned by Joseph Campbell, is to test your integrity by placing easy gratification in your path. By refusing this, you actually demonstrate that you are true to your values and dedicated above all else to achieving your purpose. So what actually is temptation? Simply put, temptation is choosing short-term pleasures that have no long-term value. And as Buddha mentions, there are three categories of temptations: lust, fear, and duty. Number one, lust. This is where people chase fulfillment, desire, and experience regret. Examples: porn, Instagram, sexy TikTok girls, clubbing, perversion, masturbating, sex, dating apps, and all of the above. So why does this actually happen? This comes out of a need for validation, a need to feel worthy, and the only way to feel good enough, welcomed, safe, or feel like you're part of a certain group is to gain acknowledgement from some sort of desired sex. And sex meaning gender. So what do I actually mean by that? What is meant by that is someone who doesn't feel worthy or good enough can get their own validation and fulfillment through dating apps like Tinder or Hinge, or getting a hit of dopamine through watching porn or sex, or just that validation from someone else, which then replaces the need to work on themselves to achieve things like personal success, increase their confidence, and prove to themselves that they have what it takes to be committed to a long-term relationship. And by succumbing to these distractions and these small hits, they never actually find the confidence to do so. This means that they are choosing a short-term pleasure of validation rather than the long-term goal of learning and growing and committing to someone else. I'll teach you how to overcome this at the end of the video. Carl Jung quote, which represents this, is, "But who should live your own life if not yourself? So live yourselves." The second temptation, fear. Examples of this is you can't take action, distraction, self-doubt, hobbies, alcohol, drugs, partying, food, gambling, entertainment, social media, unnecessary buying of just multiple things, saying yes to everyone to help them but not actually helping yourself. These happen as your age does not reflect the current level of your maturity. You have missed some points growing up along the way when you have really tried to succeed, and instead you failed somewhere at some point and you felt shame, guilt, or failure. This is because you've never had the chance to put effort into figuring out why you're alive and what you should be doing, finding your purpose, taking responsibility and not playing a victim, being willing to take on more stimulating challenges. And as a result of this, you may try to escape reality, try to fit in and not feel good enough, comfort yourself, impress others, lack self-belief, lack self-confidence, and find it difficult to trust others because you don't trust yourself. What do I actually mean by that? All this means is that you haven't processed some of life's experiences and you haven't been completely honest with who you are and what you truly want to do. And to actually work on this takes time and self-reflection. But we do not have much time these days, so I would strongly recommend and advise for you working for a coach or working with a coach or doing some sort of group coaching program so that you have the support to speed everything up. I run a group coaching program for men who want to be the best version of themselves. And if you're interested in that group coaching program, please just see the links below. And I'd love to give you a quote for this. "New things are introduced day after day to keep us wanting. Our desire for mental stimulation causes us to spend hours in front of the television or playing games on our smartphone, and time which could have been better spent calming the mind. So do everything of your own will." Temptation number 3, duty. Examples of this are doing what is perceived to be normal, submitting to public opinion, following the rules even if they don't feel right, doing as you're told, doing something that you have to do, safe jobs, university, succumbing to media, advertising, and having the opinion that the authority is the rule. Why is this? And what actually happens and why? This happens because you believe that you will gain wealth, power, or recognition. And then you feel like you are never satisfied. This means you may experience a need to prove yourself to others, or you don't feel good enough, or you have this strong need to provide for everyone. What happens is when you're not satisfied is you start self-sacrificing yourself for what you think is other people, but you end up just pushing them away. This is the old story of the police officer who is way too committed to the cause that he ends up self-sacrificing his role or his soul for the greater good of law or whatever else anyone else thinks is supposed to be really good. So society gives you a mask to wear, and you are to identify it completely by removing out every single creative thought. And after a while, you get tired of it and just realize that you're just another drag on the world. It is really important to realize exactly where you're supposed to be and understand that you are what you're currently seeking. As Joseph Campbell said, the threat of the first half of life is life. The threat of the second half of life is death, and all of the symbols, values, and motivations are changing as you grow older. In the first half of life, you realize that it's scary to lean into your full potential. Now it's more scary knowing that you never even gave it a shot. So you're desperately just trying to get it. These are all the symptoms that you would suffer from temptation, and they are playing the victim by not being able to take responsibility and putting the blame onto everyone else except yourself. Can't admit to your friends who the true you and the real you even is, or even admit it to yourself. So you make up white lies and excuses. Feeling regret and convincing yourself of untrue realities. Taking it out on other people, pointing fingers, punishing yourself and beating yourself up in your own mind, and chasing something that you think is right only to realize that you never actually valued it. So what can you do to overcome temptation? Nevertheless, any failure to cope with life comes to a lack of knowledge of your own mindset and your ability to self-reflect. To understand your temptations, there are 3 things that you must pay serious attention to, and that is your urges, your impulses, and your fantasies. And to realize that none of them are you, and you don't need any of them. Most of the time, it's just your brain searching for something that it thinks it needs, that it used to find comfort or fulfillment in. Most of the time, your brain is searching for something that it thinks it needs that you used to get a fix or find comfort in. So when you are finally ready for a change, it can make it extremely difficult. And if you're ever ready or need support, I run a group coaching program for men who are ready to take that plunge into the next phase of their life so they can focus on becoming the best version of themselves for everyone around them. And if you're interested, please apply through my website, coreyboutwood.com. The links are below. Don't forget to subscribe because we have plenty more goodies like this coming. And please listen to the Corey Boutwood podcast for much longer form content with all of this good value in it. Thank you. And just one quick note, the only way to become a human being is through relationships to other human beings.